welcome to my Christmas card class today. I'm Joyce Whitman and I'm an independent stepping up demonstrator. And I guess independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. Okay, I'll get it right tonight. I'm so glad you guys could join me. Some of you have ordered my kit online for my class, and so I will be going through the kits to show you how to make the cards. One thing that we are going to do is I will show if you don't have the kit, you can still watch this live and see how I made them, and you can make these cards. Last month I did offer the kits. This month I am not able to offer the kit after the class as I have my big holiday extravaganza coming up in 2 weeks. So I am a little busy with trying to get ready for that and finish up things for that event. Hi Teresa, thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be using I'm using mainly one stamp set, and that's the Christmas to Remember. We're going to be using sentiments from this, but I'm also going to be using some of the dies that come with the Christmas season. And when I get to the card, I'll show you what I'm talking about with that card. Now, if you ordered my kit, you get your little treat that I sent you. And this is using paper from the Painted Christmas. I could think it was Painted Season, and I knew that wasn't right. Painted Christmas. And also on my cards this month, I challenged myself. I would take a pack of DSP, Designer Series paper, and I will use like 1 or 2, maybe 3 papers out of it. And then I forget the rest of the pack. And I'm like, then when the season's over or that catalog's done, I'm like, I have all this paper left. So I challenged myself this time that we are going to use as much of the paper from the pack that I could. And I was able to use most of the different papers. So you will see that too as we go along. So I'm going to now go ahead and switch it. It's just going to take me a minute to switch this onto my other stand. So let me go ahead. And you might see my ceiling for a minute. Okay, let me flip it. There we go. And put it into here. Okay, and I'll have to stand up to make sure this is all right. Okay, now I'm going to go onto my Stampin' Scrapper page. I want to make sure that this is where it needs to be. Okay, let me line this up a little bit better. Okay, move my stamp sets. All right, you guys can see my mouse still here. Okay, and I just need to turn my lights a little bit so that you can see. Okay, it's still not straight, and that's going to drive me nuts when I'm looking at it on the computer if my lines aren't straight, because I will use those lines to line things up too. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want to show you in the catalog. This is what the Sweet Wit we're going to be using. I think I can get most of it in here. We're going to be using the Christmas season. We're going to use the dies here. So I use on the Christmas season, here's the beautiful stamp set. And here are the dies that go with that stamp set. And I used these 2 right here. I believe that was these 2. And I think that's all I used out of this one was I used the label ones out of that one. But in our Christmas to Remember, now this is a stamp set that I'm mostly featuring this month I should say, because we're going to use a lot of these sentiments. I used the dies from here. You have the big ones, but I used the little pine cones from this one and the big pine cones, and they kind of fell off. But I used the big pine cones. So you will see that in one of our cards. So, and it has a beautiful, and this is the painted Christmas paper that I was talking about that we're also going to be using. So let's go ahead and get started and grab your kit. And you're going to want the kit that looks like this. This is going to be our first card. You know what? I am going to quick grab a piece of my little, what paper is it called? Stamparatus paper that I can put down when I'm stamping, so that this is the paper that we have, the grid paper that's little. Whoops, I opened it up the wrong way. This is the Stamparatus paper that fits perfect in it. But I like it for when I'm doing this. I can just have a little piece of paper. I don't need the real big paper out when I'm doing this. Okay. Hello, Carol. Thank you for joining. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull out our first kit. Now, I'm not going to show you how to put together all 3 cards. In my kits, you have 3 cards of 4 different designs. So I'm going to go ahead and I will do all my stamping for all that's in this kit. But I'll put together 1 because I don't think you guys really want to sit here and watch me put together 3. But I will put together 1 of them. But like I said, I'll do all my stamping. So we're going to need your card base, and I'll go over the sizes too. And then we're going to go with a 1 with our first sentiment. We have this little string piece, and then this one, and this one. Lots of layering in my cards this time. Now I want all my white ones because I'm going to go ahead and stamp all of my white ones at the same time. I only need 1 white one on this one. I closed my windows because it's a beautiful day here in Ohio. And I closed my windows and all of a sudden I'm getting hot. But my husband is working out in the yard right outside my window. So I don't think you guys want to really listen to him working in the yard. So I have the window shut. So all of a sudden it's like, whoo, it's getting a little toasty in here. But that's okay. We will make it. Okay. Hi, Pam. Thank you for joining. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. I'm just going to quick grab some water. Okay. Alrighty. So here, let me tell you the sizes. You are going to start, your card base is going to be 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to score it at 4.25. Hi, Judy. Thank you for joining. In this designer series paper, we're going to have 4 by 5.25, and this is what's on the other side. So you can use whichever side you want to. This piece of Evening Evergreen is 2.25 by 5.25. This piece of designer series paper is 2 by 5.25. Then we have a little piece at 3.25 by 4. Excuse me. And that is going to go on the inside of our card. And for the white, for on the inside of our card, it's going to go 4 by 5.25. And then we have our 2 pieces of white that are cut at 1.5 by 4. And I use the triple banner punch that's retired to make my my ends. But you can cut your paper. If you cut straight up the center and then go from your corner to your center, you could do the same thing without the punch. Just with me having to do so many of these kits that I do go back to some of my retired punches to punch the ends of things. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start, and we're going to burnish this first. And so when I call about burnishing, it means you're using your bone folder on it. But trick I'm going to show you is, yes, I scored mine, but hey, sometimes I don't get it perfectly scored. Can you believe that? So what you're going to do is you're going to line up your edges here like this. Put your finger in the middle here. You're going to take your finger, or you can use your bone folder, and go straight down. Go to one side, go to your other side. And that is going to get your corners perfectly lined up. Now we can go ahead and let's do, you know what, first, let's do our stamping first. We're going to be using, here we go. I need Holly Jolly Christmas. Okay, and we're going to use our Evening Evergreen today on this one. We're going to be using 2 colors today, Evening Evergreen and Real Red. When I also try to do on my kits, is I try to limit the amount of ink colors that we use. So I try to keep it 1, sometimes 2. Rarely will I go 3, just because I don't want you guys to feel you have to order or get so many different colors. So I try to keep it pretty, down to 1 color. So we're going to tap, and remember, tap, tap, tap lightly. And then on this one, I'm kind of going a little bit more towards the tailed end because I want to put my ribbon there. It flipped over. So here's one. And I'm going to go ahead, like I said, since I have this out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my other 2. So I have them done. Because I always make myself a set of these when I'm doing my classes, because then I too have them done ahead. so I don't have to be racing around at the last minute trying to get my Christmas cards done. Okay, one more. Okay, now then when you close your ink, you want to always make sure, number one, you close it because you don't want your ink to dry out. But number two, you don't want to hit your project on the ink by accident and get it all over your project. And you can, yes, that is from experience that I know to do that. Okay, so let's go assemble our card. This one's a pretty easy card to assemble. We're going to go ahead and do the outside first. So we're going to do this first, and we're going to go put this on. Whoops, sticky. Okay, and if you don't know my little trick that I have for lining these up perfectly, I'm putting my finger here. I want to make sure I have the same distance of border all the way around, and I noticed that the top is a little skinnier than the bottom. So because of just holding it here, I did not press it down. It was easy to move. So you're just going to hold it here, and then you're going to drop it, and that is definitely not centered. Try it again. There we go. That looks better. And drop it and press it down, and there you go. Okay, so, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this one on. And this is the back. If this paper looks familiar, that's because that's the same designer series paper that I used on your little treat holder. So this one is going to go all the way to the end, and you're going to have just a border on the top and the bottom. So you just want to make sure those are even and push it down. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this on. Now I did not pop any of these layers because we're going to pop the sentiment and we have the bow on there, and I don't want to make it too fat. I don't want you to have to add extra postage. So I'm going to come down here, because I am one of those people that I need to have mine centered. So I'm going to go on here, and that looks good. Whoops. Oh, you know what? I was getting thrown off. This paper is backwards, the ones at the top. And I'm used to, on our big grid paper, the ones on the bottom. I want to make sure this is in the thing so you can see it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to line these up. Make sure I have this at the right one. That looks good right there. Okay, line it up. There we go. Okay. Oh, that looks a little crooked. I'm going to take it off, redo, because it was a little crooked. I did not line that up right, did I? Let's try this again. There we go. Much better. All right. So we can now go ahead and put glue dot, not glue dots, dimensionals on the back of our sentiment. And I am a person that uses a lot of dimensionals. So I don't want mine to go, like if I didn't put it in the center, then what if someone presses on the center and it goes in? So I do use a lot of dimensionals on my projects. So we're going to center, nope, I put this one down here on the bottom. And I do believe I found this layout online. This layout is not mine, but I changed the papers and a little bit of how my sentiment and all that. Okay, now to finish the front here, we're going to add our bow. Now, if you have a bow maker, I put a double bow on this one. So you're going to wrap it around twice. You take it in your hand and you go, wow. So this is your first time, then go around again. You're going to take your right over your left. And you're going to then take your right over your left again and tie a knot. And you're going to go across like this. There we go. And pull it up and then pull your tails down. And you have a perfect bow. And then I just spread these out a little bit. I'm going to take a glue dot. Now with this one, I probably will put 2 on. I think that's done. Good thing I grabbed another one. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put that on here. Whoops. Sometimes these glue dots are real sticky, so I'll take my Take Your Pick, and I will use that to pick it up with. And then it helps me put it right where I want it. Right there looks good. So then we're going to turn it and we're going to trim it because we don't want it too long. Okay, so there's the front of the card. Now for the inside for this one, I just took a piece of this paper because when I cut it, I had this strip of paper and I thought, well, what am I going to do with that? So I decided to go ahead and just cut that, and we're going to put it along the left side of our paper. And it fits here perfect. Okay, now my husband is done working outside, good old Mr. Wonderful. So I'm going to quick open my window just a minute because I'm dying in here. Thank you for being patient. There we go. Now I got some air coming in here. Okay, so then we put that on, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this on here and then just put it on the inside of our card. So the inside's decorated. Now, I usually will give you something to stamp on your envelope. This time, what we have is sentiments. We're using all sentiments are in here. There isn't, we didn't have anything extra. So if you had pine cones, you could add that. You could add what you want. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit different than my class last night. I'm going to add, I think I do. I want to add Merry Christmas to the middle inside of mine. I'm changing mine, and I just realized I didn't do one step on the front. So I'm going to change mine a little bit, and I'm going to add Merry Christmas. And this is why I need my lines straight, because I use my lines to line up my paper. Okay. And we're going to put Merry Christmas right here on the inside. And then I'm also going to put it on the front of my envelope, and I'm going to put mine in the center this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do all three of mine because since I'm stamping here. And you know what? I'm going to grab my two white pieces out. You know what? Actually, no, I'm not going to do those right now because I need to add my piece on there, my piece of paper. And I want to make sure that it's centered with a piece of paper. So I'll go back and do that later. Okay, I'm going to clean my stamp so that it's all nice and clean and it doesn't get ink on anything. Oops. Now, sometimes if you can't get it, you know, with this, I'm using the Simple Chamois today. Sometimes when I can't, oh, I just stuck my hand in ink. Good job, Joyce. So sometimes I will just take the corner, I'll pick it up, and just get that real well so that it's not on everything. But since I just got it on my hands, I'm going to grab a wipe to make sure that I have it off my hands because I don't want to get it on my other projects. So I'm going to take a wipe and wipe it off. And then you just hang that on your garbage and it won't get onto any of your projects. So what did I forget to put on here? Well, I forgot our rhinestones. Now, what I did was I was looking through my stuff and I wanted to do something with the green, of course. And I found the holiday rhinestones that are in the annual catalog. And I'm like, but that's not the right green. So I thought, well, this is what we're going to do. I used my Evening Evergreen dark Stampin' Blends. And you just take regular rhinestones and you just color it. Now, I did color these twice because I wanted it a little bit darker, but that's what you can do. So you can coordinate any of your rhinestones to go, or our ribbons. You can color our ribbons that to go with your project if you have the blends. That's one thing I do like about our blends because they are alcohol based. You can use them to color so many different things. It is so nice. Okay, and there you go. So that's how you do your first card. So I'm going to set this off to the side so I can bring it out again. And let me put my stuff that I did not use back in my envelope. Oops. Got it back in there. Okay. So that is card number 1. So let's go to card number 2. Okay, whoops, I've got to grab my little cheat sheet here that has all my measurements on it, so I make sure I tell you the right sheet, right measurements. This is the next one we're going to be using, so get out your Real Red ink at this time. We're going to be using Holly Jolly again, and I believe we use the, nope, this one we're going to use is May This Be a Christmas to Remember and Cherish. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to just pull all this out so you can see what was in your packet. And then see, here's the rhinestones. But this time we're going to use the rhinestones as is. I'm not coloring these this time. So we're going to use, you will have Evening Evergreen. And I will say I use Evening Evergreen. Could you give us a moment to finish? Absolutely. So you know what? While you're finishing, Tara, go ahead and finish. And I'm going to quick show you something cute. So every Friday, from yesterday, September, all the way through October 29th, I have a series called Fall Friday Projects. And so every Friday, I'm going to either be doing a fall, a Halloween, or a Thanksgiving Day project. And they're going to all be different projects. They're not the same thing. So I made this one yesterday. This is our tombstone boxes. And I used the cutest Halloween suite on it. I did not use the ribbon that goes in with the Halloween suite, cutest Halloween suite, because I have been using it a lot lately, so I wanted something different. So I brought in this beautiful metallic mesh from the annual catalog, and with the punch that goes with the cutest Halloween, you can punch out the pumpkin and the ghost from the designer series paper. Now the little bat, I just fussy cut him, didn't take me long at all. And this fence though is from the Frightfully Cute dies. So I used that fence from there. But the reason I picked a pumpkin, a goat, and a bat is because I found these cute Reese's Buttercups. And one's a pumpkin, one's a bat, and one's a ghost. So I wanted to make sure that I had it on here. So that is one of my projects. If you want more details about this, just head over to my blog at stampandscrapper.com. So, Tara, go ahead and let me know. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. If you need to, you can go back and watch this again if you missed any spots, or let me know and I can help you catch up there. So on this one, we are going to be using the Holly Jolly Christmas. Evening Evergreen is scored at from 4 to 11, 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score this one at 5 1/2. And then again, I'm using another beautiful piece of the designer series paper, and that is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Now the same size is cut for your white piece of paper for the inside. We're going to be stamping on that. I used the Sprig punch, and that is going to be the vellum paper. And we're going to use the Evening Evergreen and the red, the Real Red. And then this is where I also use one of the dies from the other set to cut out for your sentiment. And we're going to have a piece of the beautiful Evening Evergreen ribbon that is in the annual catalog. So I'm going to put these back in. Whoops, you know what? I have to stamp this, and I need to stamp this, so I got to keep those out. But this we'll put back in. Okay. So for this card, what you're going to do is, let's do our stamping first. I need my little piece of paper. There we go. All right, so we're going to be using Holly Jolly Christmas again. And we're going to put that, go ahead and stamp that with real red this time. And it will fit right in here. And I'm going to go ahead and just stamp my 3. Ah, I messed that one up. Okay, let's see. See what I did? I pressed too hard. I got a way to fix that. We're going to try to fix that while I'm working on it. So let me clean my stamp. I call those embellishment opportunities when I do mistakes like that. And that's because I wasn't paying attention. I pressed too hard on my stamp. Okay, so then on the inside of my card, I have made this be a Christmas to remember and to cherish. So that's what I'm going to stamp on the inside on my white pieces. And where's this one? Here we go. I won't press so hard this time. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and clean this because, again, remember, we don't want to get red ink on our projects if we're not wanting it there, like I did on the other piece. But, okay, so I'm going to set the 2 of these off to the side because I'm going to just put one card together. And you guys can go back and put your other cards together. I'm going to show you how to put one card together because I don't think everybody wants to be here all day long with me. I love it, but you guys might be sick of me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, whoops, it moved a little bit. I didn't hold it tight. There we go. Okay. Now, on this one, we can go ahead and put our white one in. Let's go ahead and do that because it's already dry. Our ink dries in about 10 seconds. The classic pads do, which is very nice. So you pretty much can stamp and use right away, which I love. You don't have to let things dry. Now, I do want to show you a trick. Oh, I didn't take enough of these out. I need another red. You're going to use 2 red and 2 green on this. And I only grabbed 1 of each and 1 vellum. Now, you always want to do things in the middle. I do want to show you, where did I put that other card? I want to show you, I did 1 on here. I did 1 lower and 1 in the middle, so you could see how each one looks. And it's totally up to you where you want to put your ribbon, where you want to put this. These are your cards. If you totally want to redesign them, go for it. Do what you want to. These are just ideas for you to put together. So I'm going to do, I don't know, let's see. Let's put this one. I'm going to put mine on lower on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my tape all the way around on this. And I'm going to bring this in. This is my silicone craft mat. And I'm actually going to put it on top of my grid paper. And you're thinking, why are you doing that? Well, this is the reason. You can put your, like I already have tape on this. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got tape. How can I put this down to find out where I want to put my ribbon? Well, if you use your silicone craft mat, you can do that because, look, it doesn't stick. You take it right off. So what I do is I will put it on my craft mat. I don't usually press it down that hard. I just wanted to show you. And then I'm going to put this and I'm going to line this up where I want. I'm thinking, oh, that looks good. So then I can pick it up. Like I said, I usually don't put it that down that hard. That looks like, right? And then I can line it up here. Okay, I want it here. And this helps me keep it straight. because we all know about my lovely OCD problem that I have to have everything straight. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to put some adhesive on top of my ribbon. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to adhere it to my card base. There you go. All right, so now for the next step. What you're going to do is you're going to take your white and you're going to just lay it on here. We're not going to adhere it. We're not putting any adhesives in it. We're not doing anything to it yet. We're just laying it on the top. So what I do is then I just kind of lay it out. Like I said, this is not taped. And I'm going to show you a trick actually that one of my customers did yesterday that I thought was wonderful and had never thought of it really. And I'm just going to put that there. So, okay, so that looks good. That's where I want it. So I'm going to look, okay, they all pretty much go, just the tips of them go in here, which is great. So what I do is, and this is what she did. She took her adhesive and she just put it down here. So what I was doing is I was putting glue dots on the back of these or tape or whatever you want to use. You could use liquid glue. But what she did was then that was already there. So she laid this back down again, just to get an idea, tucked it in because that little bit of that tape's down there. So she kind of knew what she wanted to do. And I think I want mine a little closer. Then I'm going to stick my vellum in here. I'm going to lift this up because I know right where I want it and press it down. And guess what? It sticks. Voila! So I'm going to do the same thing. So I know because I want it on top of each other. So I'm just going to go ahead right under, whoops, right under that ribbon. I'm going to do another strip of adhesive. And the only thing with the adhesive, just make sure you don't go past where your sentiment is going to be. And then I'm going to take these two pieces. And I think I'm going to put my red one kind of like this. Now I want it up further, so I'm going to go take it off because I want it like right here. Move it up. And then I can put my green one in. All right, there we go. That looks good. Press them down and voila, they're adhered. Now, when you put your sentiment on, you want to make sure, because you don't want to put your sentiment on the ribbon because it's going to move. You want to make sure you're putting your sentiment onto your designer series paper. So you're going to take your dimensionals and you're going to put them on the top and on the bottom. And I want to show you a trick. Okay, so you got those, that's one. But on these edges, don't forget to use these edges. And this one's a perfect one to do this with. I just cut them, and I have special scissors that's all I use is to cut anything with glue on it. And you just put it right there on the edge. So because I'm using this one, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 on here. And then, but those are perfect to use for sentiments when you use your edges. You want to use everything on there. When I first started stamping, gosh, over 10 years ago, I didn't know that, and I was throwing these out. And then someone's like, why are you throwing that out? You got to use those. And I'm like, really? So, alrighty. Now, we're going to put that one on. Now, I do want to show you what I'm going to try to do with the one that I'm going to put this one on top because I should have used that one. But I'm just going to put it on top because I'm going to take my rhinestones and I'm going to try a little bit different. And I'm going to put one right here. And I'm going to put one right here. And I'm going to put one right here. And I don't like the looks of that. I like that one there. I don't like that. So what could we do? You know, ooh, that wouldn't look right. Trying to think what I could do to that. Well, let's go ahead and finish with I will put one there. Let me go ahead and get the ones on for this one. Let me think. Come on, Joyce, get those creative juices flowing. What can we do with that? Now, I do have one tool that it would take a long time to show you, but I did put 3 on my original card. I put one here, here, and then one up here on my sprig because you always want to use odd number. You know what? I just had a thought. I'm going to try something and see if this will work. If I did put them in order, 2, 3. I don't know if that will look right either. Nope, that doesn't look right either. Okay, back to where it was. Okay. Now, I'll try to show you what I was going to show you. This is called a mono sand eraser. So what you do is you just lightly erase this, and it will take time. You have to be patient, but I will show you how I can get some of this ink off with this. But like I said, it takes time, and you got to go slow, and you don't press on it hard. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to tell that it is lightening up here or not. But if you just keep at it like this, it will take it off. And you can get all the color off. Here, I'll show you how it's lightening up. See, can you see how it's lightening up there? But, so you could do that. I'm trying to think, what can I do? You know what? Hold on. I could use, where is that? Instead of a little rhinestone, what if I grabbed my rhinestones and if I used a bigger one? I wonder if that would work. Let's see if that would work. There we go. A little bit. I think I need, yeah. Okay, so I need to work on getting this little spot here off, which I will do later, but I wanted to show you. But what I would do is I just bring in another rhinestone and put it there. I don't have any real big ones in this pack. Let me get a new pack and see if that would work. Let me grab. I just got, nope, that's not it. Here we go. Let's try a big one. I don't know how the big one will look, but we can try and see what that would look like. Here, let's just stick that one on there. Here's a real big one. That's one I think would cover it. Almost all of it. There we go. And you could do that if you wanted. There you go. Like that. And I would take this one off. If I was going to keep that one, I would take that off. What I'm probably going to do is, because because I have the products, is I'm going to cut out another one of these and just restamp this. Or you could flip it over and restamp it too. The one thing about with using the red ink, when you flip it over, sometimes the red ink is going to show through. And because I pressed pretty hard, that's why I had the shadow on there, I am going to, you can kind of see it through. And because this is a Christmas card and I want it to be special, I will just cut out another one to do for that. But that's one way that you could fix this if you needed to. Okay, so that's what I would do on that. Oh, envelope. What could we do on this envelope? Let's do Merry Christmas again. Like I said, we don't have any pine cones with this one, but there's no pine cones on this. So you wouldn't want to use the pine cone stamps on this card. So we're just going to use the Merry Christmas again. That will work. And I'll just stamp one so you can see it. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Find my chamois back and clean it up. Now, if your chamois gets too dirty on this side, you know what you do? You flip it over. Now, it is going to be staying like this. It's going to look awful, but don't worry about it. It still works great. So here's my envelope for this one. Okay, move these up here so you guys can see that. And I will take care of these. Okay, so let's go to our next card. So the next card we're going to be doing, you're going to grab your pack that looks like this. This is our Christmas to remember. This is a fun fold. Now, I saw this online and I didn't, usually I write this down right away when I see a card that I really like. I write the name down so I can give credit. I believe her first name was Jamie on this one, but not positive. But this is a really cute, fun fold card. You open it up like this. I just thought it was so cute. I actually ended up using the same paper that she did. Now, this strip of Designer Series paper actually came from the 2021 to 2023 Designer Series pack in the annual catalog. I tried different ones, even from the pack. Nothing looked good, and I really liked how she used these two together, so did I. Now, I did change this part of mine, though, is different than what she had. Okay, so what you're going to use, now your card base is going to be a little different. The card base is 5.5 by 8.5, but you're going to score it at, whoops, it goes this way. You're going to score it at 1 inch and 5.25 is how you will score it, but your 1 inch has to go on your right-hand side. Then you're going to take, for the little piece, you're going to have your Designer Series paper is going to be 3/4 by 5.25. Now your white piece, you're going to cut at 7/8 by 5 3/8. You're going to cut the sentiment piece is going to be 2.25 by 2.5. And I use the Label Me Lovely punch for that. I punched out the same size out of the Evening Evergreen for that. Then for your big pieces, you're going to use 2 of the white, and the whites are going to be 3.125 by 5 3/8, so you need 2 of those. Your Designer Series paper is going to be 3 by 5.25. Then I use the poinsettia dies that goes with the poinsettia stamp set. I don't think it's just called poinsettia dies. And I cut out 2 of the red and 1 from the gold foil paper. And we're going to use that on this card. So, you know what? Actually, I want these so I can stamp those. Did I stamp? I did stamp the inside. So let me grab those 2. I need 2 more. There. Okay. Put this stuff back in here. And then I can assemble these later. Okay. So we're going to do our stamping first. So on our 3 pieces of white, you're going to stamp, and we're going to be using this one, we're going to use Merry Christmas on these. So I'm going to take this off so I can line this up. I like to line up my paper so I know that it's straight before I start stamping on it. And we're just going to stamp Merry Christmas. And it goes straight across. There's not a whole lot of room on each side, but it does fit. Perfect. Okay, now I'm also going to go ahead and did I grab one of my envelopes? Yes, I did. I'm going to, since I already have the Merry Christmas out and I already have it with red ink on it, let's go ahead and stamp our envelopes at the same time. Again, I'm just putting Merry Christmas, but this time, let's put it on the left-hand side. You know what? And I don't know if you can see that if I was down too far. Whoops. There we go. And one more. Perfect. Okay, now oh, nope, don't close your red, but clean off your stamp. I forgot we need to stamp our other sentiment. Okay. This time we're going to be using May This Be a Christmas to Remember and Cherish. That was the same one that we used on our last card. So we're going to get out our sentiments. Now for this sentiment, you want to make sure that your straight edges are on your right and left, are on the sides, not on the top and bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and line up all 3 of these now, so then I can just stamp away and I don't have to stop and move them. Oops, because they're small enough, I can do that. Okay. Alrighty. So then we can go ahead and close it. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. I hope you're having a great Saturday. Ouch. Oops. I'm just going to put away my envelopes quick so they don't get anything on them. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. Oops, there is tape on here. Let me get that off so it doesn't get on to another project. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now, let's assemble our card. So let's go ahead and burnish our pieces here. You've got that 1-inch score mark. You have the 5.5 score mark. And so this is how your card will fold in. And I wanted to show you a trick. It just happened to work out okay, but let me do you another one because I want to show you a little trick with your folding that I forgot to show you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this in. I'm going to do it first without the burnishing it. I'm just starting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 and I'm going to put them so that they're even. Because, you know, like I said, I try my hardest to make sure that it's straight. So I'm going to make sure that they're even and they line up exactly where I want them to. So I'm holding them here because they're lining up. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to push it out. And that way I know that they are completely lined up where I want them. And then see, they equal up perfectly. Yay! So that is a little trick on how to do that. So let's go ahead and put on this piece, you're going to take your Designer Series paper and adhere it. I'm doing the thin strip of Designer Series paper. And I'm going to just put on some tape. And this one, I believe I did. Yep, I did. There's a border all the way around. So do your 3 sides the same. Now this piece is pretty thin. So I'm just going to kind of lay it down. Yep, I like that. Then press it down. Then you can go ahead and you can add this to your card base. Now, for me, it's easier if I lay this flat like this to put it on than to try to put it on when it's folded over. So you're going to line that up, put it on. Okay, so now we're going to do our big piece of Designer Series paper. Now you do want to watch if you use this piece of Designer Series paper. Look at the way that the sprigs are going. Yes, they are going all different directions. But I noticed with these green ones that, see, if I did it this way, doesn't it look like it's upside down? It's not. You can use it either way. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. You're so sweet. And now that this way, they look like they're going up. So just play with it and see which one looks better. And that's how I determined which direction to put this paper. This is what's on the back. You could easily put it on if you wanted to. But I did do it this way because I wanted to use the sprigs. And these little red, I don't know what they're called, flowers, dots, whatever, that reminded me of the sprigs. That's why I'm using the sprigs on it for added embellishments. Okay, I'm going to put that on. All right, so now for your sentiment. You're going to take your green one, and you're going to need a pair of scissors for this. And you're going to cut it from straight edge to straight edge. So we want to go across like this. It doesn't have to be straight by any means. So then I'm going to get out my silicone mat, and I'm going to, weird, but I like to put my tape, my adhesive here. Some people will put it on the back of this. I don't know why, but I like to put it there. And then you're just going to line this up, and you're going to let it overhang just a little. So see how it gives that, you're framing this out. And it just makes this pop just a little bit more. So I thought I liked how that was. Now again, we're not going to put on our sentiment yet. We're just going to lay it on here, remember, because we know where we want our sentiment. I think I'm going to put this one up here. Should we do it down here? Let me see. We could do it down here. We could do it up here. I'm going to put one down here. Now I want to kind of go here because I know I'm going to have one of these coming down here. So I'm going to go like this. I know I want my sentiment kind of in that area. So right here by this, I'm going to put some tape. I'm going to go up just a little bit. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did on my last card because it will help put this on. So I know I want this to edge. Whoops, I might be down too far. I know I want this to be on the edge of my paper. So I'm just going to go like this and press it down. That looks good. And then you see you can have it any way you want to. And then up here, I'm going to put my gold on first. So I kind of want it in about this direction. I'm just lightly tapping because I'm not positive that's where I want that to stay. So just lightly put it on, lay it there, put this on here. How do I like that? I like it. I'm pressing it down. There we go. Now on this one, because these are pretty flat, it doesn't matter where you put your dimensionals on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put one here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut my, now what I do is I go through and I cut all of them at once. And then that way I'm not having to cut every time I want one. I do them all, I don't know, I just kind of do like two triangles here. Whoops, that one's stuck. Okay, we'll use that one right there. Thank you. I think I need to clean my scissors. I think my scissors are sticky. Okay, I'm gonna cut here, here. So now these are ready to go whenever I need them. There, perfect. Leave those out so I remember to clean them. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this on. Oops. So I want to put mine kind of down here this time. That looks good. So I put mine here. So like I said, here's two different designs. Whoops, didn't need that one. So there's two different designs. You can put them whichever way you want to. Like I said, these are your cards. Use your creative juices and put them however you want to do that. Let me grab an inside card and we'll put that on. So we're going to take this and add adhesive to this. You know what? I forgot to put away my rhinestones. What goes with that pack? Okay. Alrighty. And there you go. Now, the reason I put this one off to the side is, and I did not center it, is because when I close this, I don't want to see the white here. And if you move it over, you're going to see the white here. And I didn't want that. But you can, if you want to, you could put a bigger piece here and have this all white. It's really up to you what you want to do. So that's how I ended up doing it. So that's our other card. And I think I probably put away all of my envelopes. I did. Let me grab one of those to put over here. Okay. Okay, we have one more card. Now, this is the card that I am going to be sharing with you, is this one. But I do want to show you of card that I made with this paper. And I love the pine cones. I don't know why, but I really love this design. So what I did was I took that paper and I made this card. How cool is this? Now I had these designed before I made this card, or trust me, this card would have been in your kit. But what I want to show you is when you cut this, this is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I use my layered stitch dies and you lay them on your thing, on your piece of paper. So you take your one die and you lay it on here. Now I took a piece of tape and I covered my dies like this so that they were stuck together. But then you run it through. So you're using one piece of paper, but you're getting 3 pieces out of it. How cool is that? And then you just cut your paper for these here. So I will try to do a blog post on this one in the next couple of weeks. And so it'll give you more details on how to do what I was explaining to you on how to make this. Like I said, I am in holiday extravaganza mode, so my brain's a little not with it right now because I'm trying to get things finished up for that. So, okay, but this is the card that we're going to make next. But let me put this off to the side so I make sure I try to do a blog post in the next week here for you that on that card. So here is the card we're going to be making. And it's so funny because I'll design my cards and then I'm like, oh, those are really cool. I like them. I really love those pine cones. Goes with the pine cone paper. And then my lovely sign up. And then I'm like, oh, we need to cut all those pine cones. So it was fun though. I had fun cutting these for you guys. So what I did was these are the little pine cones that I used out of the dies that go with this stamp set. The little ones were, I believe, were the little ones in this one, or did I use the pine cones from the other set? I think the pine, I don't remember. I think the pine cones were from this set. But anyway, so in your kit, you got lots of pine cones. I will tell you, I did not sit there and punch out all of the little pieces. So there might be some pieces that you have to punch out of those. So we're going to take, we need a card base. We're going to need one of the browns and a designer series paper and another brown and a white. Oh, I'm going to take all my whites. You know what? I think, did I? Yes, I did. I stamped that. So let me take all my whites. And I think that's all I need out of this. There we go. Yep, that's what I need. And an envelope, and there. And then I'm going to make sure I put my little pieces away because I don't want to lose any of those pieces. And then you're going to take one piece of your ribbon. Now this is the gold ribbon from the annual catalog. There is a beautiful gold ribbon in this holiday catalog. But when I was designing these, I know that it was, I noticed it was on low inventory at that time. And I, didn't want it to go on back order, and I couldn't get it for you guys for your kits. So I switched to this gold, but guess what? I'm so glad I did because it went on back order. I don't know if it's available now. I haven't looked, but I'm so glad I ended up switching to use the other gold. So you're going to go ahead and just poke these out with your tool, or if you're like me and you have long nails, you can just use your nails to poke it out. Now, one thing I thought of after I cut all these millions of pieces out is that the best way that would have been to adhere those pine cone pieces together would have been the self-adhesive sheets. But like I said, I thought of that after I did all of this. So if you go to make the card yourself, again, I highly recommend that you cut it out with using the self-adhesive sheets on your little pieces. But I'll show you how to do it with the liquid glue. So let's go ahead and get our stamping done again. This time we are going to be using Love and Joy, Come to You, and May It Last the Whole Year Through. And we're using Merry Christmas again. Okay, let me get, I feel like I have a hot mess going on here. Okay, let me move you up here. Get my adhesives out of the way. Okay, so we want to go ahead and we're going to do our stamping. And we're going to use our Evening Evergreen for this one. It looks like it's all popped, but it's not, right? What are you, I'm not sure what you're asking for, Luann. It looks like it's all popped, but it's not. Which one's all popped? I'm not sure. Go ahead and take out your sentiment pieces, and you're going to stamp the love and joy one. And I'm going to turn this way because make sure, am I in the screen? Yep. Make sure that I get all of it inked. Perfect. Okay, we'll do two more. And at the end, when we're done with this card, I am going to show you the cards that we're going to do next month. And you are gonna, I love them. I think they turned out so cute. They're different, but you, I think, are going to love them too. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off. Set that off to the side. Now we're gonna use our Merry Christmas on the inside. So go ahead and get your 3 white pieces. But you know what? I need all of my envelopes, and I only grabbed 2 of them. Here we go. Okay. Now this card is opening up this way, so make sure that your card is going across in landscape, not in portrait. Okay, so change this. The one that you showed earlier with the pine cones with the layers. Oh, yes, you're right. It does look popped up. You are right on that one. Yes, but it's not. It is totally flat. It is such a cool card. And what I like is you can run that through your die cutting machine once, and you got all 3 pieces cut at one time. And if anyone had signed up for my holiday extravaganza online on October 9th, make sure you check your emails. I have sent out 2 emails about that. Okay, so I got those. Oh, you know what? I cleaned that, and I need to do my envelopes. This time, I'm going to do them on my back flap. Something different. Okay, so I'm going to open up my flap, because it's easier to do if it's flat down like this than if it's already folded. And I'm just going to put it on my flap. There we go. That's cute. So then they open it, they see it. Cute, cute, cute. And one more. Okay. Okay, clean this off, and then we are done with our stamping. So you can go ahead and close all your stamp pads and everything. We are finished with that. Okay, so I don't need those 2. We can put over here. Don't need one of those. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this. Now we're going to do the pine cones right now because I want them to dry a little bit. And I forgot to grab, I need to grab my Wink of Stella. Okay, so now we're going to use liquid glue on these. Liquid glue is going to be your easiest to get these down, to tie, you know, or any kind of thin glue tip you have will work. If you have our fine tip glue pen, that will work too. And you just put a little bit of glue on them. And then you put them on here. Now, one thing what's nice about these, the little ones, the die set comes with 2 of them. So you can cut 2 of the little ones out at the same time, which is very nice. And I should be doing this on my silicone craft sheet, but I forgot. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. And one thing too about the liquid glue when you're using it on this, you have about 10 seconds to move your pieces around to get them where you want them. And remember, pine cones aren't perfect, so your thing doesn't need to be perfect either. Because, you know, perfectly lined up. Pine cones aren't perfect. Okay. Oops, I missed a little piece. Come out. There we go. There we go. Okay, now on your pine cones, if you want to, I did on mine, I added Wink of Stella to mine, just on the brown, just to give them a little bit of bling. Okay, so set those off to the side so those will dry. Okay, so now we can assemble our card. We're going to take our base and we're going to burnish that. And we're going to take our designer series paper. We're going to adhere that to the brown piece. This is the Early Espresso. It's the color I used. And on the pine cones, I used Early Espresso and Crumb Cake. And I did not tell you any of the sizes, did I? Okay, so for your card base, it's 4 1/4 or 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and you're going to score at 4 1/4. This brown piece is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Your designer series paper is 4 by 5 1/4. So we'll go ahead and put that on, and as we're doing it, I'll tell you the sizes as we go along. Okay, and the white piece for the inside is also at 4 by 5 1/4, so you can go ahead and adhere that. There we go. Okay, so now, oops, going to move these so I don't lose those. Now on your brown, we're going to do the same thing we did earlier by cutting it in half. And you're going to cut it, again, straight line to straight line. Just cut it in half. It does not have to be straight because no one is going to see the underneath. And we're going to go and put this, I like to put it, like I said, I like to put it here. But you can put it on your white, you can put it on the brown, whatever you want to. It's your card. And there we go. And that just makes it pop a little bit. Now you are going to pop this with dimensionals. Whoops. So I'll put one of my long pieces here. And I need another long piece. There. Now I am going to stick one in the center. Again, if someone presses on the center, I don't want it to go down. I don't know why they would, but in case they did, I just want to make sure that it's secure. Now, before you adhere this, we're going to do with our big pine cone again. So what I do is, because I already tore off the paper, now if you already tore the paper off of the back of your dimensionals, just put your sentiment upside down like this so you kind of know where you want it. And you know what? Oh, it'll work. Yeah. I just realized I had put those more towards the top, but this one's in the center, so I'll show you how you can do it with it in the center for your ribbon. Okay, so I want, whoops, I want my sentiment about right here. That looks good. And so I'm going to put this about right there. So I'm going to put this on, and I'm lightly laying it. I'm not putting it on tight. I'm going to put this on See if I like, nope, I want it up further, which is okay. I can do that because I just laid it there. I did not adhere it. Again, I am just lightly laying this on here. Do I like where, nope, I want it down just a tad. There, do I like that? I do like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and press this down. I'm gonna go ahead and press this down. And then I'm gonna put my two little ones on. And I just used adhesive on this. I did not pop them because I popped the sentiment and I popped, we're gonna have the ribbon. I did not want to pop these two. So then we're gonna take our bows. Now this is, like I said, this is the gold shimmer ribbon. This is 18 inches because I did a double bow. Now, I want you to see how big I did this one. I was looking at that last night and I'm like, I wonder what that would look like with a smaller bow. So this would be the big bow. So I'm gonna bring it down. Is this one size down? Yeah. And I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna have enough to do a triple bow. So I'm gonna do a triple. I'm wrapping it around 3 times. And let's see what this looks like. And like I said, you can play with these guys. Do whatever you want to them. Whoops. Come back here. Okay. You know what? I need my, there. No, this won't move. I've learned that trick too. If you have a bow maker that keeps moving, use your silicone craft mat and it's not going to move. Okay, so now we're gonna finish tying this. Let's see what this looks like. And if you don't like it, you can always undo your bow and go back to the original. It's whatever you want. Okay, let's try this. And let's spread our pieces apart here. Okay, come on, you're stuck together. Here, then I'm pulling on the same one, probably. This one does not want to come apart, does it? There we go. Spread that apart. Come on. There. Okay. Whoops. These two need to come down. Okay, that's why. There we go. Now it's looking right. Now I got it right. There. Okay, so now I did my triple bow. And I'm going to use my glue dots. And I'm probably going to put 2 on this one too. And I'm going to put it right here at the bottom. Now, because on this one, I had stamped it up a little bit higher than on this one. So I'm going to play with where I want to put my bow because I still want them to be able to see the sentiment. So I moved mine down a little bit. Now that means too that I'm going to push these a little apart here. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to try to get them about at the end of the paper. There we go. Not perfect, but close. Okay, this one's at too much of an angle, so I'm going to fix it. There we go. Much better. And there you go. There you have the triple bow instead of the double bow. So you can do, like I said, whatever you want. That is totally up to you. And that's that card for today. So these are our cards for today. We did, let me just clean this up so I don't lose anything. So we did this one. Move this out of the way. And this one. And this. And this one. There we go. And this is supposed to go close like this. And there you go. And that's our cards for today. Now, let me quick show you what we're going to be doing next month. I'm just going to quick pull out the stamp set. I didn't grab that yet. Let's grab that. So, when I saw this set or suite in the catalog, my first thought was, no, I don't like that. Nope, I'm not getting that. So this is the suite I'm talking about, the Whimsy and Wonder Suite. And I thought, no, 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 no. So then I did my paper share. And I saw the papers and I went, oh no, oh my goodness. Oh, look how beautiful. And I was just going on and on and on and on. And Robin was with me when we were looking at that. And I just went, we're going to end up buying this whole suite. I know we will. And sure enough, we did. But it is such a fun suite and it is so pretty. So here is the stamp set. And you do not need the dies. Now the dies, so you can get this as a bundle. Whoops, it has 2 pieces here. You can get this as a bundle, and then this is the stamp set. You do not need the dies to do my class. You will need the stamp set, but you don't need the dies. So, but I love the snowflakes. I've been using those on other projects too. And the beautiful Blushing Bride frayed ribbon and this paper. And that's one thing we were talking about last night. When you look at this in the catalog, it looks really pretty, but you don't realize that they have foil on them, silver and gold foil on them. And you're like, I wonder how we could tell. And then I remembered. So if the paper in this catalog is $11.50 for the price of the pack, it does not have foil on the papers. But if it's $15, it does. So that's one way you can tell whether the paper has foil. So let me show you the cards we're going to be making next month. This is going to be on October 1st in person, October 2nd online at 2 o'clock again in the Saturday afternoon. I'm trying to think when my deadline was. I don't remember the deadline for this. I want to say, I think the deadline was like the 16th or 17th for this class. If you go, I will be putting the class on my blog sometime today, so you can go look on my blog at stampandscrapper.com, and it will have the information for my class. But here's our first one that we're going to be making, and we're going to, this is the inside, and look, see, can you see the foil on there? I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to see. Yeah, see how it sparkles? And that ribbon sparkles too. This ribbon is actually from the in the holiday catalog. I believe that's holiday catalog. Let me double check. So yes, that is called white glitter ribbon. And then we have this one, and this is called the bookbinding card. And you lift it up like this. You can also make them sideways like this if you want. But this one I made going up and down like this. And then we have, and I'm missing a card. Which card am I missing? Oh goodness, I'm missing one of my cards. Hold on a minute. I only have 3 of them here. Oh, this one. Okay, this one. We have this one. How cute is that? And love the bright pink on this one. And then you have this. Now this is the only one that you would have to fussy cut if you don't have the dies. That is the only one. I will be cutting these out for you. And then we have this one. Now this one's the one that's in my picture, but I wanted to show you that you would also be getting this one. So what you're going to do is you're going to get the paper to go either this way or this way. You will get one of each, but your third one will be either one of these. So that, because to save on paper, that way I wanted to show you to everyone how you can get 2 cards out of 1 4 1/4 by 5 paper, or 4 by 5 1/4 paper. So, and then this is what we're going to do on this card. So aren't those just, I love how they turned out. I hope you do too, and that you can join me next on October 2nd at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed the class today, and that you can come back and join me another time. And thank you so much for joining me. And you guys have a great weekend, and sending lots of love and hugs to everyone. And there you go. Bye-bye.